Hi everyone, my name is Amber Lee and I'm the support group coordinator at SADC. I'm also one of the hosts of our Matric support group that is hosted every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Today we're discussing a very important topic of how to prepare yourselves before, during and after an exam. So, what to do before your exam? First and foremost, it's so important that you know what your study method is. Are you somebody who likes to write things down? Are you somebody who likes to read things out loud? Maybe a combination of both. Do you make use of mind maps or cue cards? Know what your study method is so that you can use it effectively. You also need to make sure that you have a really detailed study plan and study schedule. The more detailed it is, the better it is going to be for you to divide it into manageable chunks and know what sections are coming up next and feeling prepared. In your study plan, you should also include your breaks so that you know when your breaks are happening and you know that you've got something to look forward to. It is so important that your study plan is realistic. So if you think a chapter is going to take you half an hour, however long, give yourself extra time so that you're not feeling panicked. The more time you have, the better. And then lastly, the night before your exam, make sure that you've got everything you need for the next day. Do you have extra pens? Do you have your ID? Do you have the right pencil case? Do you have pencils, calculator, whatever you need? Get it organized the night before so that the day of the exam you are not stressing. So now it's the day of your exam and I'm sure you're feeling just as nervous as anybody else. Make sure that you give yourself enough time to get to the exam venue so that you don't have that additional anxiety of arriving late. Know where your venue is and start preparing, taking a few deep breaths before you even walk in. Once you sit down at the venue and you get your question paper in front of you, slow down. Open your question paper and as you're reading through it slowly, remember to take those deep breaths just to keep your anxiety at ease. I recommend taking a highlighter and going through each question before you even begin trying to answer. Making sure that you're checking each side of the paper so that you don't miss out on any questions or any additional mark opportunities. Highlight important keywords in the question so that you're 100% sure of what the question is asking you and what the instructions of that question are. It is also important to make sure you're taking a look at mark allocation. And as you are going through your paper, make sure that if you get stuck on a certain question, you don't spend too much time on it. Rather, leave some space and move on to questions that you know well. You can always come back to those other questions once the paper is done. And most importantly, if you're starting to feel panicked, if you're starting to hit a blank, that's okay. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and remind yourselves that you've done this before and you can do it again. And now the exam is done. Thank goodness that is over and done with. A lot of the times we find ourselves trying to go back in our textbooks after an exam and see what answer we got right, what answer we got wrong. But it's important to try and refrain from doing that. It's just going to cause additional anxiety and additional stress. And what is important is that we leave that exam behind us. You've done well, you've done what you can, and it's important to focus on what's coming next. Once you've finished with the exam, take a break, take a breather. I know that some of the exams are on top of each other, so these breaks might not necessarily be too long, but take some time for yourself to recoup. Have a nice lunch, have a nice dinner, take some space and do something that makes you happy and nourishes you so that when you become ready for preparing for the next exam, you will feel ready to go for it.